And one of the big questions is what should be that threshold? What is the threshold by which small business, what is a small business, or what threshold should it be? Mr. Byrne, I would like to start with you if I could. Let's talk about the difference in the modeling and how that affects what you're doing, what eBay's doing, what Amazon's doing, and what advantages, disadvantages. I mean, we're really trying to empower small businesses in this country. Some may say, oh, you get an advantage, but the others say it's a terrible burden when you're trying to start a new business or supplement your income and do it part-time. Can you just go a little bit deeper into that, please?
Yes, sure. In the bill as we've proposed, the small business exemption is up to $20 million. I think that may be the highest of any proposed cap. But as far as the models, if I understood your question correctly, what's really going on is this. If we open a warehouse in Indiana, as we did once, we interpret the law to be that we have to pay taxes in Indiana. My fine competitor down at the end of the table, Amazon, they have taken a much more aggressive tax position historically, where they open a new warehouse in a state, they put it in a subsidiary, and they say, you see, we don't own that warehouse. We just own a subsidiary which owns the warehouse, so we don't owe taxes. They've been doing that from the beginning. Our tax accountants would never let me try something so aggressive. What's happened is the ground is dissolving under their feet on that position. And so now they are jumping on this, which is really giving the sleeves out of their vest, because Amazon is essentially turning into a big box retailer, not in the sense of having storefront, but in the sense of having warehouses.
Mr. Weiser, how many distribution centers do you have across the country?
A couple dozen.
A couple dozen.
Yes,
and do you pay taxes on those or don't pay taxes on it?
It's not a tax on Amazon that we're talking about. It's a collection responsibility. Right. We collect where we're legally required, which is in the 4 states where we have a...
I know you, I mean, you got a nice compliment and shout out from Mr. Conyers there, but you've also taken a fairly aggressive tax position in saying, well, we have no physical presence because it's supposedly, but it's under your control, is it not?
No, these are separate corporations. I don't think anybody on this.
Right, let me go back to Mr. Let me go back to Mr. My time is real short. Let me go back to Mr. Byrne here. Finish that thought. I interrupted.
You see my point.
Yes.
You see my point. Okay, so but that ground is eroding from beneath their feet, so they are looking more and more like a big box, and therefore they're jumping on. Well, they're jumping on. Let's get this tax reform, but it's the sleeves out of the vest. All this tax reform is sleeves out of the vest for big boxes because they already have nexus everywhere. So they're